On March 22, 1312, Pope Clement V issued the papal bull Vox in Excelso, officially declaring the dissolution of the Order of the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ, better known today as the Templars. Before Saladin recaptured Jerusalem, their headquarters was located in the Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of Islam's holiest sites. The Templars had modified the structure and referred to it as the Temple of Solomon. However, after Muslims regained control of Jerusalem, the Templars relocated to several centers across Europe. Despite this, as Crusaders, they retained the right to move their armies freely through any European country. How did the powerful and influential Order of the Templars fall? Who were the key figures behind its downfall? 3, 2, 1, let's begin. After the fall of Jerusalem, the headquarters of the Templars was located within the territory of the King of Cyprus. His brother conspired with the Templars, and in 1306, they orchestrated a palace coup. As a result, the former King of Cyprus was sent into exile to the King of Armenia, who happened to be the brother-in-law of the new king. However, after fleeing Armenia, the deposed king returned and, with the help of another knightly order, the Hospitallers, reclaimed his throne in 1310. Who was he? Henry II, King of Cyprus, House of Lusignan. Like the King of Cyprus, this king was also French. He knew exactly who was responsible for the overthrow of Henry II. He owed the Templars a massive sum of money for their military support in his wars. His country, like Cyprus, was home to a powerful Templar stronghold. He also sought to unite all knightly orders under his rule, a proposal that was outright rejected by the Grand Master of the Templars. As a result, he became the main driving force behind the destruction of the order. Who was he? Philip IV the Fair, King of France, House of Capet. This lawyer and keeper of the seal of France was sent by Philip IV to the Pope to initiate the dismantling of the Templar order. He was already experienced in pressuring popes. In 1304, he traveled to the Papal States, captured Pope Boniface VIII, and forced him to abandon his plan to excommunicate Philip IV. A month later, Boniface VIII died, and his successor, Benedict XI, excommunicated this lawyer instead, only to be mysteriously poisoned shortly thereafter. Now, this excommunicated keeper of the seal had to negotiate with the new pope. Who was he? Guillaume de Nogaret, keeper of the royal seal of France. This pope was French and relocated the papal headquarters to Avignon. When Guillaume de Nogaret arrived, he first secured the reversal of his excommunication and full forgiveness for the capture of Boniface VIII. Then, he compelled the Pope to authorize an Inquisition investigation into the Templars, personally signed by him. Who was he? Clement V, 195th Pope of the Catholic Church. This Grand Master of the Templars was officially invited to France by Pope Clement V to discuss a new crusade. The Grand Master of the Hospitallers was also supposed to attend the meeting but never arrived. Instead, when the Templar Grand Master arrived from Cyprus, he was arrested by the Inquisition. Who was he? Jacques de Molay, 23rd Grand Master of the Templars. A secret parchment prepared by this lawyer and cardinal was only revealed in 2001. According to the document, Pope Clement V had absolved all Templars, including Jacques de Molay, of the charges brought by the Inquisition. However, despite this, Templars across various countries were tortured during interrogations, and many were executed. Later, after the death of Clement V, this cardinal was nominated for the papacy but lost. Who was he? Berenger Fredel, Supreme Penitentiary of the Roman Curia. This King of England had just ascended the throne when the trials against the Templars began in France. Philip the Fair's envoys urged him to start persecuting the order in England, hoping that the young king would take the opportunity to erase old debts to the Templars. However, remembering how the order had supported King Richard the Lionheart during the Third Crusade, he launched his investigation. He concluded that the Templars were innocent and immediately sent letters to the monarchs of Europe informing them of his findings. Who was he? Edward II, King of England, House of Plantagenet. The King of Aragon initially reacted just as Edward II did. He did not believe in the guilt of the Templars and even wrote letters to the kings of Portugal and Castile. After all, it was thanks to the Templars that the Reconquista in Aragon had succeeded. But soon, greed took over. He seized Templar castles and took their gold for himself. Who was he? James II, King of Aragon, House of Barcelona. This Portuguese king was known as a poet, and many of his love poems have survived. He also signed a treaty with neighboring kingdoms that remains in effect to this day. After receiving letters from England and Aragon declaring the Templars' innocence, he made a clever move. He dissolved the order in Portugal and immediately reformed it as a new one, the Order of Christ. Under the banner of this new order, Vasco da Gama would later embark on his legendary voyages. This way, the poet king protected those who had helped in the Reconquista of Portugal. Who was he? Denis the Poet King, King of Portugal, House of Burgundy. The Grand Master of the Hospitallers, who did not attend the meeting with Pope Clement V, ultimately benefited from the downfall of the Templars. According to the Pope's decree, all Templar assets were supposed to be transferred to the Hospitallers. However, this did not happen in Portugal, or in Aragon. The Order of the Hospitallers survived to this day but is now better known as the Order of Malta. During this Grand Master's tenure, the order was headquartered on another island, Rhodes. Who was he? Fawkes de Villaret, 25th Grand Master of the Order of the Hospitallers. After Pope Clement V's decree on March 22, 1312, trials against the Templars began not only in France. Although Edward II did not believe in their guilt, he obeyed the Pope and allowed the Inquisition to conduct trials in England, including the use of torture during interrogations. On March 18, 1314, in Paris, the Templar Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned. As he was executed, he reportedly cursed both the King of France and the Pope. Within a year, both were dead. The Hospitallers ultimately lost their influence during the time of Napoleon, when Bonaparte casually seized Malta on his way to Egypt. The order sought refuge in Russia and was granted it by Paul I, who, in return, became the Grand Master of the Order of Malta. Leave a comment if you think someone important should have been included in this video. Give it a like if you recognized everyone.